Okay, everybody.
Toilet.
There's a very silly and tragic channel on YouTube. It's by this guy. What's this guy's name? Steven Crowder. He's a well-known internet goofball and doofus and weirdo. In this video, I was actually laughing out loud at a couple parts because of how almost the childlike stupidity of this.
Toilets.
So let's take a look.
Right now, good news. Today, Joe Biden is expected to announce, and Chuck Schumer was talking about this, the withdrawal of all troops from Afghanistan by September 11th. We have a clip.
Can I ask you about that date? You know, as a New Yorker yourself,
No.
September 11th, are you comfortable?
So blah, blah, blah. Chuck Schumer says some dumb crap. Here
A great deal of respect for what we have done to fight terrorism.
Wonderful. Thank you, Wishmaster. So all troops withdrawn.
Yeah. Withdrawn.
On or thanks for the grammatical correction.
No.
On or by September 11th. So terrorists, save the date.
The really amazing thing about this show is that it's actually kind of difficult to find out what the joke is. Like, do people laugh? Are they do they do that at this show? Because often I'm like, I don't get how that could even possibly be funny. So let's try to piece it together. He's saying that, you know, this government weirdo, Charles Chuck Schumer, is saying that they're going to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. Okay, so then Steven Crowder comes along. He says, save the date, terrorists. So I guess that means what he's saying, his audience is very pro-military. They love them. They do this for the military. They love the military. So I guess what they're saying is if you get the military out of Afghanistan, then all the terrorists are going to cause all problems there because the military is doing such a good job in Afghanistan. This is, you know, I mean, obviously his audience doesn't care about this stuff. They just want to hear this kind of stuff, I guess. But there was very, very recently a long report. I think they were calling it the Afghanistan Papers, to make it like the Pentagon Papers, where they were basically like, yeah, this was a waste of time in Afghanistan. I mean, 775,000 American troops in Afghanistan. 2,300 of them dead, over 20,000 wounded, more than 100,000 civilians killed, And in this report, a bunch of high-ranking officials are like, yeah, we don't know what we're doing here. Uh-oh. And, okay, so the funny thing about that, too, is that he is saying this just because his audience loves the military. They just want to hear good things about the military. Don't get the military out of Afghanistan because they love being there. They love being there and they're doing a good job and they're winning the war. The war against what? I don't know. What? I forgot. Who were you? Was I talking or are you talking? What? But later in this episode, he goes into how dangerous the vaccines are. So his audience likes to hear that the military, the U.S. military, is beautiful and amazing, and there's no problems there. But a vaccine for a easily transmissible and very dangerous viruses, that's the dangerous thing. The U.S. military, just to put this in perspective, has killed, millions of civilians in the past, 70 years? Maybe less, I don't know. 70, 80 years, millions of dead civilians. Vaccines save the lives of tens of millions of people, and they pick the vaccines are the dangerous one. It's just odd. It's just an odd choice. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to understand. Y'all's what you think. Hi, I'm on YouTube trying to understand what's going on because I don't get it. 1.4 million views in 3 days. Okay, these are leading up. These are not even the funniest parts. These are just leading up to the funniest part. Here's another one. Here we go.
All right, here's another one now. Floyd Trial. As we talk about all this, it's confusing because there's Brooklyn Center, there's Minneapolis, there's Kenosha. Now we're back to Floyd. Yesterday, the use of force expert Barry Broad. That's his name.
Is it Broad?
Is it Barry Broad or Barry Todd?
Rod.
He testified that Derek Chauvin was justified in his restraint of George Floyd. Here's a clip.
Now, based upon your training and experience and your expertise in the use of force matters, your review of the materials that have been provided to you, have you formed opinions in this particular case to a reasonable degree of professional certainty?
I have.
And can you just briefly overview your opinions in this particular case?
I felt that Derek Chauvin was justified and was acting with objective reasonableness, following Minneapolis Police Department policy and current standards of law enforcement in his interactions with Mr. Floyd.
I highly recommend you go and watch his whole cross-examination.
So he's about to show another clip from the Chauvin trial, which I have been keeping up with. I wasn't going to because of just like news saturation, YouTube news saturation or something. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something wrong with me. But it's very interesting. I would recommend anybody watch it. Not just interesting, of course, but very important. Blah, 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 beep, blah, boo. But if you just watch this right-wing media, and all the channels I watch, Tim Pool, whoever, Jim Dingus, or whatever right-wing YouTuber, it's all as if the prosecution in this trial doesn't exist. They only show the defense, the people representing Chauvin. They show clips from the defense, either the defense's witness or the defense questioning a witness. It's really like the prosecution doesn't exist. It's kind of amazing.
It's perfect.
Had he not been restrained in the way in which he was, I think he would have survived that day. I think he would have gone home or wherever he was going to go had he not been subjected to the prone and positional restraint that he was.
So in other words, if he had gotten in the squad car, he'd be alive.
I think my answer remains the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really bizarre. If you watch this entire trial as a whole, if you watch all these witnesses and blah, 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 we'll actually watch the prosecution and the defense, this is really going to be a tough one for the defense. I mean, from the beginning, the medical examiner saying this is a homicide, and then the defense trying to be like, well, blah, 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 and failing. And all these witnesses who were around saying, we tried to help, we were saying that they're killing this guy, da, 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 da. If you just watch this kind of right-wing YouTube, though, you would be like, oh, this is an open and shut case. That police are the good guys, and they're going, oh, he's going to have a good time. They're going to give him a money award because of all the crap he's been through because he's the good guy. Like, that's what you would think if you just watched, like, these kind of channels, which is a little disturbing, I'd say.
Toilet.
This is problems I have a lot of somethings with.
I don't want kids teaching my cowards.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, so here we go. This is probably the funniest. Well, okay. Funniest. No, that's wrong. What he says is funny because of how stupid it is. The subject matter is not funny at all. Okay?
No.
It's the opposite of funny. It's terrifying, but here we go.
Is a weapon, a gun is a weapon. The issue here is the accidental shooting and the woman who didn't know the difference between a taser and a firearm. And not only that, her partner crosses that line of sight on the barrel like 3 times. This woman was a danger to herself and her partners.
Okay, so he's talking about the Dante Wright shooting by a police officer, pretty recent. So there's the setup. You kind of see where he's going with this already. Here we go.
I will tell you this. This is the issue that I have with female officers. Oh, can you say, look, what is a female cop?
Oh, man. He knows his audience. These guys know their audience. Oh, a police officer shot a guy. Women, am I right? Fellas. Let me get this shit. Women are crazy. Women are shopping all the time because they're police officers. Am I right? That's me hitting it on my knee like Chappelle style. Women are crazy, fellas, right? They're always being police officers and they're doing it wrong. Am I right, fellas?
That guy clearly said, oh, this is my chance. The second he was passed from the big burly male officer to the female yelling, taser, 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 and couldn't even tell that she had a loaded firearm aimed at her own partner. This is something that I think is pretty important. It relates to...
Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Brownie, why are you going to take this channel seriously? This is clearly meant for ding-dongs to watch. 1.4 million views in just a couple days. This is for dinguses and kooks to get worked up about. Let's just take it a little bit seriously, this claim, because the claim he's making it's so naive and silly that I'm really shocked that a little baby, not even a child or like a teen, like a 13 or 14-year-old is saying. I'm pretty shocked that a grown, like most things with these kind of YouTube channels, I'm shocked that a person who's fully grasped human language is saying this. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's leave the larger issue of police and blah, blah, blah. Let's leave that for a while and just examine what he's saying, that women are the real danger to policing. This was actually it's from the New York Times after the Tulsa shooting in 2016. You want to read more about it? Go ahead, I'll put a link. But this time, the officer firing the deadly shot was a woman, a rarity in fatal police encounters. This is an anomaly, said Chuck Wexler, the executive director of the Police Executive Research Forum, a policy group. Actually, the most relevant part is this, that I keep getting these ads for podcast studios, this looks like the cheapest thing I've ever seen. $99 on Amazon Prime, and it's a podcast production studio. I don't know about that. I don't know. For $99 and the way that this thing look, I don't think I'm getting the best quality. Anyway, that's a little bit off topic. Police officers kill about 1,000 people each year, according to data collected by Phil Stinson, an associate professor of criminal justice at Bowling Green State University in Ohio, who uses figures from the Justice Department and the blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Just give us the numbers. Mr. Stinson analysis shows that since 2005, there have been 77 police officers charged with manslaughter or this is this is the true anomaly. Police getting charged with the killings. There have been 77 police officers charged with manslaughter or murder for an on-duty shooting. Only 3 of those, including Officer Shelby, were women. So including the story that they're doing in this story from the 2016 shooting is one of the women. Out of 77 police officers charged with manslaughter, 3, including this one, was a woman. I mean, look, I, of course, think there should be a bigger discussion about policing and the role of police and, honestly, how ineffective it is for, having a decent society and so on, etc. But just to meet this guy where he's at, this is so stupid. I mean, this is kind of silly, too, if you know anything. I would recommend if you want to kind of learn, the base, kind of most important things you need to know about policing in the United States, I would read Alex Vitale's book, The End of Policing, just to know, what actually would solve some of these issues. But this is kind of funny. Beginning in the 1990s, police departments started recruiting women more aggressively as they sought to minimize the use of excessive force. That's kind of instead of fixing the underlying issues of that most of what police do is not what they're supposed to, not at all what they can help with, which is, poverty and dealing with sex workers and homeless people and giggy mentally ill people and da-da-da-da-da. Instead, they're just throw more women in there. I mean, it's different layers of wrong. It's first there's Crowder's wrong, which is just a kid, in the outfield who somehow doesn't have pants on. Not even that he's not catching the fly balls, but he's just doesn't have pants and he's facing the wrong way. And then there's this kind of stuff where it's just yeah, no, that's not going to work. This is even funnier because it's not to mention the basically since the existence of the modern police, the long, ever existing history of wild corruption in the police. Here, let's look at some examples. And by the way, before I read this, if anybody's been to this mob museum in Las Vegas, please hit me up. It's very expensive to get in. I wanted to go. I was in Las Vegas once, and it was like $40. I was like, this is what I said.
No.
So anyway, mob cop saga still reverberates 10 years after their life sentences. Ex-NYPD detectives shocked the country by taking part in 8 mob hits and accepting $375,000 from Lucchese underboss. I mean, this is just brutal if you read it, these two dudes. What's the name of these guys? Oh, Eppolito and Caracappa, these two guys. Let's look at a few more just for fun. Joseph Miedziniowski. I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
You have a mental health problem.
Is a former Chicago police officer who was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole for racketeering and drug conspiracy, is known as Chicago's, quote, most corrupt cop for his part in a cocaine sales ring with gang members and other corrupt police officers, all of which were women. He was the one man in this situation, Joseph Miedziniowski, who was like, you broads got to calm down with all this drug dealing and using the protection of the police to do all this stuff and be involved with all these gangs and all this crap. And all these ladies were like, you shut up. And they had switchblades. And they were like, you shut up. If you do anything, we'll give you the cut. And he was like, please, don't do this, you crazy ladies. During his 22-year police career, he received 59 citations for valor and arrests and was publicly praised for his high number of drug and illegal weapons busts. During this time, he was also secretly revealing the identity of undercover police officers to gang members, protecting drug organizations, distributing crack cocaine, and supplying gang members with ammunition. Well, they forgot a part, which is that a bunch of crazy broads in Chicago forced him to do it. A ring of, they were sort of like Roger Corman character. They had like the push-up bras and the dark lipstick, and they were like, we'll cut you, Mac. Miedziniowski's conviction led to the breakup of the department's gang crimes unit. In 2020, Miedziniowski requested a reduction in his sentence, blah, 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 blah. Just one more of these stories, and there's a lot of these kind of stories, but just one more of these stories of these crazy women, these crazy broads, as I call them, who make up about 12% of police in the United States. The Rampart scandal. The Rampart scandal involved widespread police corruption in the community resources against street hoodlums, or CRASH, anti-gang unit of the LA Police Department in Rampart Division in the 90s. More than 70 police officers either assigned to, and they were all women, to or associated with the Rampart CRASH unit were implicated in some form of misconduct, making it one of the most widespread cases of documented police corruption in U.S. history. Responsible for a long list of offenses including unprovoked shootings, unprovoked beatings, planting of false evidence, stealing and dealing narcotics, bank robbery, perjury, and the covering up of evidence in these activities. And I would urge you to read the story about the Rampart scandals. Pretty crazy. And I think Notorious B.I.G., Biggie, he had a tie-in to this too. I'm not going to get spoiler alert, okay? Stop. But again, what this Wikipedia doesn't show is that they were all women at this thing. It was a women-only police department in LA in the 90s. Here's just one last thing about police corruption in the United States. Although not explicitly related to police corruption, a study identified about 6,700 cases involving the arrests of 5,545 sworn officers across the nation between 2005 and 2011 for a variety of criminal acts. That is, on average, police officers are getting arrested around 1,000 times per year. So despite having like the cover, and if you read some of those police corruption stories, they have a lot of cover. They kind of get away with everything, basically. Still, cops are getting arrested about 1,000 times per year. So, again, these ladies, these women, that's the problem. That's the problem with police. That's the problem with women are the true danger when it comes to policing. You get them out of there, everything's shipshape, okay?
This is problems I have a lot of somethings with.
No. You're kind of like a snotty faced bitch.
Hey, don't say that. I mean, could you imagine that? Could you imagine getting in front of millions of people will watch this and saying, "Oh, what's making the police a danger to the public is women." It's so perfectly what they want to hear. At the same time, you almost got to give it to him as a writer. Just playing his audience, like baby birding them the baby food so well. It's simultaneously misogynistic, which they want to hear, and pro-police at the same time. Beautiful. Beautiful. I wish I had an audience this stupid. Things would be so easy. I could just come on here like he does and just do improv for basically an hour. He'll do a couple points. He'll do a couple of his dumb right-wing points. And then the rest of the time he'll say, Dr. Zayas, Jim Carrey, soy Jim Carrey, the mask, smoking. He'll do that for 45 minutes and then do 15 minutes of right-wing Nazi goose-stepping. Pretty good job for millions of dollars. And I'm not going to play the rest of this because I don't know if this guy, because you watch this guy's videos and it's obviously he's very, very dumb, I think. He's very, very dumb. Despite being Canadian, though, Canada, the home of great comedy, not much of a sense of humor, but it's fine. It's fine. That's not for everybody. But I can't figure out whether he's just dumb or he's trying to get kicked off the platform because really, I don't like the idea of these giant companies having all this sort of authoritarian power with social media and go blah, 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 and YouTube. I upload videos to YouTube. I don't like that. I don't like the non-democratic authoritarian nature of this whole crap, right?
No.
But, so I can't figure out, is he trying to get banned? Because one thing that I kind of empathize with YouTube, let's just say is taking down, let's just say pandemic misinformation. They're taking that down because you can make an argument for taking that stuff down. Oh, well, this is going to cause a public health problem and we don't want to be part of that. Okay. So, but this guy can't seem to stop himself because I think his audience really, really wants to hear the anti-vax, which is anti-vax and anti-mask stuff. They got to hear that stuff so bad. Ooh, they want to hear it so bad, like a bunch of little...
The muscular class.
Like a bunch of little...
Bad
Barbies going... They want to hear it so bad that he has to say it, despite the fact that it's he's kind of seems like he's asking for to get into some kind of YouTube problem about it. So he goes on a long, look, the vaccines are bad, and look, children should not wear masks. That's bad. Goes on a whole thing like that, a whole insufferable, ponderous, and extremely stupid thing, and that's his channel. So I would check it out. It's a great channel. It's where I get all my news. And
Toilets.
Okay? So there we go, guys.
Your third world excuse for a country, America.
A very good video from a normal, insane society that we like to see, and we really like it.
No.
And I'm really proud. And thank you for watching. And guys, again, if you're sort of an activist, you're one of, the police are bad. If you're one of those kind of people, just know that we figured it out. Get less women in there. Get those women out of there. That 12% of women who are police, get them out of there and it's fixed. Everything's fixed. Oh my God. So guys, if you are free tonight, which I don't know, whatever, it's fine. Please come to my live stream. Okay. Will it kill you?
No.
Will it hurt you?
No.
Will it?
You have a mental health problem.
Will it give you a mental health problem? Probably, actually. Okay.
Blue Chew.
And come talk to me on discord.com and I will see you. And also this channel. Let's not get it twisted. Come on. You can watch it on this channel and then talk on Discord. I'm causing a lot of problems with this live stream. So I'll see you on the live stream at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Year of Our Lord, Monday and Wednesday. Bye-bye, and I love you.
Hello, Tushy. Toilet.